Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Your Vibes Podcast. Everybody's got a vibe and a story to tell. Here's this one. I hope you enjoy. This episode is brought to you by The Station. The Station is downtown Dickson's premier event venue. Located inside historic Mulberry Mill, The Station is a perfect space for a wedding or reception, birthday party or baby shower, conference or class, photo or video shoot, and even a live music performance. Just a quick 45-minute commute from Nashville, Clarksville, and Columbia, the station provides your guests with a classy and convenient experience in the heart of downtown Dickson's up-and-coming environment. To book your next event, please contact Andy Truman at 336-693-4311 or email her at events@mulberrymilldixon.com. 3, 2, 1, and we are off. What's up, everybody? I'm here with the man himself, Mr. Victor Lugo. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Victor's a little nervous, so we'll try to make him a little comfortable. I made him listen to his own voice before we started. That way he'd get used to it. Good. Everything going okay? Running around?
Yeah, man.
Good.
I can't complain.
Yeah? Did you have a good weekend?
Weekend was good. A lot of time with the family, which is always good. And
What do you do when you're with your family? What kind of family things do y'all get into?
well, Sundays we go to church in the morning. Get out of church. Usually we grab something to eat, and then just spend some time in the house together. And
Yeah.
sometimes we go skateboarding.
Oh, are you a skateboarder too?
Well, I
By
was
proxy?
like 20 years ago, but now I'm starting again.
You know that new skateboard park that they've got is about finished.
Yeah, well, that's right across the street from my house, so I have to. I already got the skateboard.
Okay.
I got my son Alex a skateboard. My daughter Eva, she can skateboard. She can borrow it anytime.
Okay.
So yeah, we're ready.
Jennifer get into skateboarding?
No, she's not. No.
Is she nervous that you do?
No. No.
I guess she knows you're a little bit of a wild man either way.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she puts up with it.
Yes.
That's a good woman right there.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm sure that most people know Mr. Victor Lugo and his wife, wonderful wife Jennifer, owner of Lugo's restaurant on Main Street, and pretty much the only white tablecloth restaurant in town at the moment, right?
I guess so far, but the town is growing, and hopefully it's more restaurants coming in.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think it's people were. So as I think everybody knows, there's some stuff going on with the brewery, but it's going to stay a brewery. They're just going to kind of pizzazz it a little bit. And I was having conversations with people saying, I think as this brewery kind of continues to grow, and I already know that there's a couple other breweries that want to come into Dickson. And people are like, well, what do you think that's going to do to the environment? And I honestly think that the more options you have in either kind of genre, whether it be a brewery or a white tablecloth restaurant or a barbecue place or something like that, then that kind of makes that area or that town a little bit of a hub, for that type of thing. People can go and, they can enjoy one restaurant one night, and then they know they can go back another night and have a different experience at a different restaurant and different people and different environment, thing like that. So it kind of just makes this town a little bit of a destination environment. I know a lot with breweries as well, too, is that once a town like Clarksville's, I think, got like 6 or 7 breweries in there. So there'll be groups of people that'll go and just hit a brewery and have a drink, and then go to another brewery and have a drink. And, then now you've got people shopping on Main Street, get a good little buzz going on, and shop on Main Street and spend all their money, right?
That's right.
That's it. So I guess just I don't really know the whole story either, but just a little bit about kind of where you came from and why you came to this little bitty old town of Dickson and decided to start a restaurant.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm originally from White Bluff.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. White Bluff's finest over here, born and raised.
I'm originally from Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And so I lived there my first 22 years. And then I went to college in Providence, Rhode Island.
Okay. How'd you end up over there?
I guess it's a very good culinary school over there.
Okay.
And that's what we decided. My mom, my mother, and I, we decided that there was a good option for me. So she helped me out to get there, and I did. That was my first time out of Puerto Rico. So I get to Providence, really cold over there.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, a lot different than Puerto Rico.
yeah. So I did my associates in culinary, and then I decided to move on and just start working. So I worked for Disney World in Orlando. Yeah.
Whoa.
For 3 years.
Okay.
It was a great experience there. And
what'd you do at Disney?
Just cooking, always cook. But at that time, I was cooking for the employees of Disney.
Okay. So just large quantities on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So after that, I started working in retirement communities all over Florida. So I started in Kissimmee, Florida, and then moved on to a little town called Eustis.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, Daytona Beach and Jacksonville.
Just working in restaurants or?
Retirement communities.
Retirement, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like upscale retirement communities, he helped me a lot with the management aspect of the kitchen.
Okay.
So they sent me to this place in Daytona Beach, and so I rented an apartment there. And guess who is the landlord of that apartment? Jennifer's parents.
Oh, there you go.
So that's how I met her.
Okay.
I became friend of her parents, and I moved on from that apartment and just continue my life. But we continue a friendship. So I went and visited one time, and the daughter was there, and I'm like, wow, look at her.
She's beautiful.
Yeah. So we met, and somehow we just started going out. It's a long story,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, we started going out. By that time, she used to live in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
So she invited me, just, hey, you want to come to Houston? I said, sure, why not? And move on to Houston. Over there, I lived there 5 years. And then Houston became too big for us. We decided, to get married, build a family, and we were looking for something a little bit smaller. And she mentioned Nashville. And I said, sure, let's go. First time in Nashville, we flew in, and the funny thing is when she bring me to Nashville, she bring me to Belle Meade, and I was like, oh, wow, this is very nice, but I don't think we can afford it.
This is
so
great.
She's like, well, yeah, I know. I just wanted to show you, everything. So we start moving west, and we saw that the more west you move, you get more for the money and a little more space. The country hills, it was just not that city living no more. And somehow we found Dickson. We got into Dickson, and we got in love with it.
When was it?
That was we opened the restaurant in 2009, so we came in probably 2007, 2008.
Okay.
And yeah, we saw a lot of potential in Dickson.
There wasn't much going on Main Street in 2007.
Yeah, zero.
Lights are out at like 5:30 p.m.
yeah. But we were in the mentality of build a family, and that's perfect. I don't do too good in the big city. I need some. I need to
spread your wings a little bit.
I need to, slow down a little bit, I guess. And it was perfect for us at that time. And we decided. I started working in Nashville, in different places over there, and we say, I think Dickson need a place to eat, because a lot of people, they just drove to Nashville at that time. And we decided to open the restaurant, and that was in 2009. Jennifer was pregnant with
Ooh.
Eva.
Okay.
So Eva and the restaurant are the same age.
How about that?
Yes.
How about that?
When we opened, Jennifer was serving tables sometimes with, actually Eva born already. She born in February and we opened in July.
Okay.
But sometimes she was carrying the baby in the bag and just waiting tables and
doing whatever you could.
Yeah. It was no alcohol in Main Street, so we were,
Sure.
responsible for that.
Sure.
Well, I guess the kind of food that we wanted to bring and the kind of food that I like to cook is good to serve it with a glass of wine, an aperitif, or a cordial. And so that is part of the whole environment of coming to the restaurant, I guess, in my opinion. I mean, you don't have to drink to go over there,
Sure.
but it complements the food.
That's exactly right. That's something that a lot of people don't necessarily too much think about. I mean, a lot of people do, but some don't. Is that the alcohol portion of it is not necessarily to get drunk. Like it pairs well with the food.
Yes.
I mean, there's wine pairings. There's books about wine pairings. You know what I mean? And there's books about beer pairings or bourbon or whiskey pairings as well too. And especially because you're not thinking I'm going to go get a McDonald's and a beer and they're going to pair well together. You're I mean, you can do that. Yeah, absolutely. You can do that. But in the environment that you're trying to present, you're obviously going to have a little bit more upscale food. And so that would be a nice compliment to the food menu.
Yes. And by that time, when you go to Nashville, I was thinking about doing something that you don't have to go to Nashville. And, that was part of the deal. We needed a wine list. And Jennifer worked in the wine list. And people love it. And we got two different sizes. Of, people came in and say, Victor, this is nice, but you won't make it. This is too expensive. This is too fancy, whatever. But in our guts, we always felt right. It was never fear. And we just, since day one, we've been blessed and we've been busy,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, that was, I was still in high school, I guess, when y'all started. I think, no. When was I born? 17. No, I graduated college in 2012, so I was just kind of piddling around college. And I didn't really, I've only been in Dickson since, I guess, 2013. And it had already kind of really caught on by then, but you're right. I mean, and these changes, and we'll kind of fast forward a little bit and then jump back to when you started. But, now you look at Main Street and your price point is pretty on par with everybody else's. I mean, Elizabeth's selling boards for $11,
Yes.
for some meat and cheeses. And, I get 2 tacos and a side and a drink at Back Alley for almost $16. You know what I mean? It's people are kind of, it's not necessarily just social inflation, but I think people that have been in Dickson for a while that weren't really introduced to good quality food on a regular basis. They probably knew what it was, obviously, but driving to Nashville wasn't their favorite thing to do. I know it's not really mine most of the time either, but I think that you were kind of first out of the gate with like, hey, this is good food. This is what Dickson needs.
Sure.
How long did that kind of concept really take to catch on with the locals in Dickson to where they, instead of going to somewhere in Nashville that, they'd rather decide to stay here?
Well, I mean, it's still a lot of people that, they still think that it's,
Sure.
Not for them, and I understand that, it's okay. But, I think Dickson right now, if you want a burger, you can get a burger. If you want barbecue, you can get barbecue. If you want fast food, you can get fast food. I'm just trying to do something a little bit different, something that I'm comfortable doing, and I really enjoy cooking that kind of food. Which it takes me to another problem that we're having now. Is just the skill level. You need more than wanted to cook. You need something to drive you, something more than money. You need some, I don't know how to
just
put
the
it.
love of the culinary arts for the most part. Yeah.
a passion for it, you know. So.
Well, I think in this town, there's this aura of this 9 to 5 type thing, you know, and I've never really been on that boat, but that's just the industrial town that we live in, and it's rapidly changing, as we can see with these downtown business owners and these little small pop-up shops that are coming up, or these boutique stores, or just boutique kind of booths that are coming around, that and then just kind of the world in general. You can kind of see this phase out of people wanting to just you know, the boss makes $1, I make a dime type of thing. You know, they're not satisfied kind of with their day-to-day 9 to 5, something just to pay the bills and the taxes, and go home and do it all over again. And you know, and at your place, they're not just necessarily line cooks, you know, with a condensed menu of pretty much the same ingredients that are just mixed on a different plate type thing, and you're slinging out, you know, orders just like at the back of your hand, which gets to that point with you all. But you, there's got to be obviously some love and care put behind it. So, and I know that there's been a couple good chefs that have come in and out of Dickson as well too, and have kind of, you know, like Ron, he kind of started his own thing, whatever it may be, and then, you know, you've got Michael as well too. Is he still running around? Okay.
Yes, definitely.
And he was a cook in the Marines, or
yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So, and I've thought about that too, because given all this Corona stuff that happened, obviously the hospitality industry took the hardest hit, just shutting everything down. So it's a very tender environment in the hospitality space, just because you're relying a lot on the economy of the situation. So in regards kind of to the talent that you're looking for, if you're looking for someone to come to work, maybe obviously they're going to have past experience of some sort if they're going to be a cook, or is that something that maybe you're willing to teach, or you know, like when Michael came on, he'd obviously had some past experience with that. But are you just kind of looking around Dickson, or is there any sort of advertisement, or are you searching around anywhere else, or kind of headhunting anybody to?
Yeah. We put it online, and we're searching for you know, not only Dickson but outside of Dickson. Okay. I think what's happening now is I guess I'm not the best teacher in the whole world. You know, I have to be honest about that. The way that I would learn is like, I got a job, and if I want to learn something, I really have to be behind the chefs, making notes, and you know, asking what is this, what is that, and I needed to push myself to learn what they were doing. And I guess I always look for that kind of things when somebody want to learn from me. You know, I don't want to grab anybody by the hand and say, listen, this is this, this is that. It's just not me. I didn't learn like that. Which some people understand that, some not, but it's just, it makes sense for me. You know, if you you need to see something in me that you wanted to learn. If you don't see anything in me that you can learn, then it's no point. So coming in just because you need a job, it's just actually, just to be honest, I don't think it's gonna, you know, it's just gonna be a matter of time that you're gonna get tired of it.
Yeah, no, I agree. And there's getting into kind of, so I've started a little bit of this entertainment company. The website finally got finished today, but I've had a couple of people reach out who have kind of wanted to get into the industry, whether it be DJing or event hosting or emceeing or something like that, or podcasting. And to your point, I'm kind of the same way. I'm not necessarily the best teacher because the process has kind of become ingrained into how I just operate normally. And to kind of step back and put myself in somebody's shoes who's maybe never done it before, or even at that level, it's kind of tough to describe in a relatable manner, like, okay, this is how it's done. Sure. Same exact thing. It's like, I just told this person, I was like, just come shadow me. I don't know if I can or, you know, will help in whatever kind of way that you are looking for, but sure, follow me. That's fine. And so they did. They showed up at a couple karaoke nights, and from start to finish helped me unload my car. And I was like, I've got a method to my madness, but I can't really write it down. So you just need to watch and then
Sure.
just ask questions. And that's exactly what they did.
Yes.
And it got to the point to where they did it a couple times. And then I even asked them to kind of, if I had to go to the bathroom or go run and do something, I asked them to take over for a little bit and just kind of slowly release the
Sure.
range just a little bit until you feel comfortable kind of just turning it over to them. And then, and at that point they can put their own spice on it, and it doesn't have to be exactly, Victor Lugo's cookie cutter type method of doing it, so long as it gets done the way you want it to get done, and taste to a certain quality of sorts. But it's kind of getting tough to find people that they want to get out of the system of sorts, but they don't really know what they want to do, and
Well, and another thing from, talking about Lugos is, we don't have, right now we're running the restaurant with myself and two other cooks. And then, when you sometimes go to another restaurant, you got an executive chef, and then you got the sous chef, and then you got the chef de cuisine, and then you go, it's all this brigade of people working together to make this thing happen. And, as a small business, I don't have that. So, like bartending, I got one. If the bartender is sick, what are we going to do? If the dishwasher is sick, what are we going to do? So, all this had to have a big play on running the restaurant. That's why I'm on the schedule. I'm not, which is challenging.
Absolutely.
But since day one, Dickson has been great to us. We've been busy since day one. Like I said, we've been very blessed, and I had to thank the town for backing me up on that.
It is a good town and we've said it on many podcasts too, that do support more locally than really a lot of other towns that I've come across. The shop local vibe here is massive, and I think that it's going to be a continued supporting environment. So long as things don't change, drastically, which I don't see them going any sort of negative direction. Just like we've said, just given what's going on in Main Street right now, and it's just going to continue to grow. Dickson is really hurting for some more options on food. I think we can both agree that
Yes.
and even more particular. Not to say this would be kind of your niche, but like a late night grub area, something other than Waffle House or something like that. But it's some restaurant that maybe had a lighter menu of sorts, maybe just some tapas style and stuff that was open till 1 a.m. or something like
Sure.
that, where it wasn't. House of Brews is great. That's an environment within itself, and plenty of people go there, and you can drink beer till legally 3:00 to when they have to close. But something that is like a before and after type place. Maybe they've got reservations at Lugo's for 7:30. They're off work at 4. They want to go get a cocktail before maybe a light appetizer or something, then come and have the full menu with you, and maybe change things up and go get a dessert somewhere. Something
Sure.
that's not really catering to a sit down, come in type thing would be a decent start. But there's plenty of options as well too for another quality restaurant to come into town, which I think would just rising tide brings up all the ships type thing.
Yes. One thing, man, I can't wait just to have, like you're saying, a bunch of different restaurants coming in and different, different places to enjoy a night. But, I just want to encourage people, if you're a server, you're a bartender, you're a chef, I understand Nashville is the place to be right now to do that kind of stuff. But man, this, Dickson is growing. We need you guys in here, It's fine if somebody wants to do a nice restaurant, but guess what? You're going to need people to run it.
Yep.
And that's always my concern into somebody, coming in, with an idea of opening X kind of, whatever restaurant. It's like, okay, good. Who's going to run it? Well, I don't know yet. Well, who's going to be the bartender? Well, I don't know yet. It's like, I understand that, but that's the main reason right now, like we struggle right now because we don't have that
most everybody help. Yeah. So where what do you think's the issue with the help? Why are people not wanting to get out and do something in that industry, or just even, I mean, even the retail stores too, man. I mean, Elizabeth is, I talk to her quite often just about how, because she's obviously a new business owner, just a year in, and I talk to her, frequently about kind of just the labor situation, and she's having to work pretty hard, obviously, and she's only a year in, which is kind of expected. But and if, like you were saying, somebody calls out sick, what do? You there's not really a backup list of people here. I mean, is it just society when in itself is kind of a little more complacent about, or doesn't care as much about money or craft?
Just to be honest, I don't know. I really don't know, because man, I've been, like I say, I've been cooking since I'm like 19 years old, and I just never stopped. I worked through college, I worked before college, and I worked. I don't know. I never stopped to think about why people are not working. We pay competitive. If you know what you're doing, you're gonna get paid right. But if you don't know anything, then we can start you. Listen, right now, I don't think nobody's making $10 an hour. Right. I just say, in the industry, at least, I don't think nobody's making $10 an hour. So just to start, you're gonna start at least 12. If you know what you're doing, then we can talk a little bit more. And we have vacation pay for if you work with us for over a year, we pay 75% of the health insurance for the people that have the health insurance. We have a retirement plan now, so we
it's a full setup.
We offer some good stuff. I don't understand why the people are not lining up. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm too mean. I don't know.
No, I don't. I don't know. Well, and it's not just you. Like we were saying, I know the brewery's having some problems, and I think that there's several other places around town that there's just a labor issue, and I can't quite put my finger on exactly what it is, but I do think kind of where a lot of this may lead is that people are in this weird rut about getting out of high school and not really necessarily being prepared for life in society. There's a couple small steps that they take, but there's no real time that I've found that of people that have been put into a situation to where they decide whether they like it or they don't. They pretty much just start school and finish, and maybe there's some outside of school programs to where they'll go and intern for somebody, but it's not really labor intensive. And I think people get out of high school, and this whole push for a 4-year degree and taking on all this debt is kind of gone out the window too. People are starting to realize that that's not really paying off in the long run, and you're just stuck with a boatload of debt.
Yes.
So I think where all this is really going is these 2-year technical schools, and I think that in the hospitality industry, it would be great, especially if Dickson could do it. If Dickson could bring a little culinary school to Dickson, then you would have eyes on Dickson, and then immediately have a labor force as soon as they got out.
Sure. I mean, right now, if you know what you're doing and go to any restaurant and you show up to work every day, I mean, I'm sure in the first week or two, if you need more money and you talk to them, hey, because, but I don't believe in you coming out the door not knowing anything and you're going to make $15 an hour. Because I think you will value more the money if you earn it. $15 an hour after 6 months is just going to be money. $100,000 a year after a few years, you're gonna need a raise. So, money doesn't, I don't know.
It doesn't satisfy you forever.
Yeah.
Like there's always that next rung.
You make more money, you're going to buy a better car, a better house. Well, Victor, I need this much now because I bought this and I bought that. I said, well, you know what I'm saying. So
they really need to care about what they're doing in order for it to be kind of a long-lasting.
When I became a cook, I never asked how much money I was going to make. And neither of the people that I graduated with, money was the last issue because as a cook, we know we're not going to make that much money, but we love to cook. Now, I don't know how many of them still cooking this day, because you realize that you can make more money in different ways. Maybe not as hard, you don't have to work as hard. Maybe now you can stay home a little bit longer, So it's other ways to make the money. The food industry in the kitchen is always going to be hard. It's not going to be an easy job. I cannot sugarcoat it.
We interrupt this episode with a message from our sponsor. This episode is brought to you by The Station. The Station is downtown Dickson's premier event venue. Located inside historic Mulberry Mill, The Station is a perfect space for a wedding or reception, birthday party or baby shower, conference or class, photo or video shoot, and even a live music performance. Just a quick 45-minute commute from Nashville, Clarksville, and Columbia, The Station provides your guests with a classy and convenient experience in the heart of downtown Dickson's up-and-coming environment. To book your next event, please contact Andy Truman at 336-693-4311 or email her at events@mulberrymilldixon.com. Now let's get back to it and enjoy the rest of this episode.
Well, you do it because you love it. You got a passion. So, that surprised me. Well, how much I'm going to make? Well, I don't know. Let me see how much how much you know. That was, even opening the restaurant, we knew we were going to, maybe struggle a little bit. But we never expected to make big amounts of money. I mean, everything is, I have everything that I need. The family is fed, everything is good. But, that was not the main reason to open the restaurant.
Right.
So.
Well, when you lay your head down on the pillow at night, you're like, all right, I'm doing, what I love doing, which is, something that probably 90% of America can't say right now is that, they wake up and they drag their ass out of bed and get in the car and chug their coffee and go in the office and then drag their ass out, back out in the car and go home, and I think that sense of satisfaction that, that you're living out the life that, you feel like you're meant to live out is way more satisfying than anything that a paycheck could bring home.
Definitely.
Yes. And I feel the same way. Like right now, I mean, I think to me, the money aspect is kind of just what keeps the wheels greased. It having the momentum of making money is kind of what brings momentum to your life just in general, and that if you love what you do, you're just going to keep attracting more and more money people because you become more valuable. Because if you love what you do, you're going to try real hard at it, and you're going to try to get better and better and better and better and better. You're not just there to serve a table, do the job, put a smile on your face, get a check, and go home kind of thing.
Yes.
Like you're going to want to keep learning, and as you become more valuable, you become less fireable, or you don't fade into the background and lose all that money that you were going to make as quick or ever, if at all. So it's in the kitchen, like you said. I've worked, I worked for a catering company for a long time, and I love just the thrill of it. That was it. That's why I started an entertainment company. It's not easy at all. It's late nights. It's weekends. I mean, some weeks I'll put in 100 hours. If I work here, my 40 plus, and then I'll do trivia for 4 hours on a Thursday night, and then if I've got bingo that same Sunday, that's another hour and a half. Yeah. And if I've got a wedding to DJ or an event to MC, that's another 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, something like that.
It's called work for a reason.
That's exactly right.
Work, it's not called vacation, or it's not called let me hang out, So you just said it, man. If you stay long enough in a job and you do what, you don't even have to put the extra mile yet. If you do what you're supposed to do and you stay there long enough, the only way is up. That's it. But you cannot be jumping 2 months here, 2 months over there, 6 months here, 1 month over there. Just stick up with whatever you love, stay there, and you will become successful eventually.
Yeah, eventually, and it may take a lot longer than you suspected it to.
Definitely.
But that time spent is just you growing and growing as a person. And if you get down to the end of the road and you're like, this is not what I want to do, At least you gave it your best shot, you know.
You learn something.
Yeah.
It's never a waste of time. You know, you for everything that you do, you will learn something. It's a learning experience.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, even in that catering business, you know, I learned how to properly clean tables and chairs and fold napkins and clean utensils and set tables and deal with clientele. You know, dealing with people just in general is a lost talent these days, just because everything's online so much.
Well, and I'm glad you mentioned that too, because like, you know, going back to when COVID hit and stuff, everybody knew what was going on. You know, when you go to the restaurant is closed. It's because of COVID. We have to, or somebody's sick or whatever. But then that kind of fade away a little bit. And some people say we're doing a little bit better, you know, and cool, we're doing better. But right now, after few months after, you know, we reopen again, people thought that, well, the restaurants are back open. So, you know, yes, we're open, but now we don't have the same employees that we used to have. Now we're less. So people came in with, yes, I'm ready to get my drink right now, and I'm ready to eat, and I'm, you know, the demand is there and everything. But they didn't realize that you shorthanded. You know what I'm saying? And you want to sugarcoat it the most you can. Welcome, how you doing, and this and that. But sometimes it's just me and another guy, and then 50 people coming in the door. And that's the difference when everybody knew COVID was going on, and then let's say post-COVID, now, so I encourage the customer just to sit down, have a drink, relax, know what's going on. You know, we shorthanded, and when I say we, it's a lot of restaurants in town, in the nation. So, you know,
there's a for hiring sign everywhere I go.
Yes,
I mean, you walk in any door of any restaurant, they will hire you pretty much on the spot, you know, at least to be a dishwasher or, you know, a server or something like that.
Yeah. So, you know, maybe some people don't realize that is just, you know, you don't have the help that you used to have. And it's becoming an issue that I never had before.
Yeah. And yeah, just to reiterate that, I think that, and I see all this stuff on, you know, Dickson or Facebook or whatever it may be. People get on there and they use that as their soapbox to complain every time somebody messes up. Very rarely will you see a compliment, you know, on that page. And you know, most people, you know, they'll keep their compliments to themselves a lot of times, but you know, when something goes sideways, you know, they're going to be the first to blast it out all over there. And, you know, I think that a lot of those people have never owned a business in their life, you know, and I've followed some things. And, you know, if any of my friends kind of get caught up in that hubbub of, you know, the keyboard warrior type thing, you know, my first question, and I try not to get too involved, but just to kind of shift the perspective is, have you ever owned a business, period? You know, especially a restaurant business or a hospitality business, you know, and then things kind of go quiet at that point. I think people that weren't, besides the fact of them maybe having to stay at home or they can't go to these certain places that they're used to going to, it's tough for someone who hasn't been in a business owner's shoes to step into those shoes and realize, like, this isn't just we were opened and COVID hit and we had to close and now we're back open kind of thing. You know, I mean, there was obviously a lot of heartache that went on in between that closed period of like, what are we going to do? How does a to-go type business look? You know, I mean, how are we running just all to-go menus, call in, stuff like that? How does that look? You know, what precautions do we need to take when we open back up? You know, and then like you said, how long were you have to shut down?
Well, I think we tried to do the to-go only.
Yeah.
And it was just Jennifer's mother and me, and it just became too much, you know. So we did that for probably 3 months, and we just decided that, you know, we killing ourselves. You know, it just doesn't make sense. It's just not. We couldn't do it. Not only that, but you know, when the food that I'm trying to bring to the table, I don't want to serve it in a plastic or
Sure.
styrofoam,
Sure.
you know. I mean, people want steak and people want potatoes and fries and whatever. You know, we got our fries, from, fresh cut from a fresh potato. And, it takes a process to do everything from scratch. And you paying top dollar for a steak, and I'm going to put it in a styrofoam, and you're going to eat it 20 minutes later. It just that's not what we wanted to do. So it became really, really rough, really tough for us to do the to-goes. So I guess close, I mean, we were 2 or 3 months,
Yeah.
like trying to survive somehow.
And so of your staff, kind of what percentage ended up coming back after COVID? Or after you opened back up, I guess.
The servers came back, and then we have problems with the back of the house. We have problems, with dishwashers, salad person, and, line cooks coming back. And I don't know if it was because of COVID. I don't know. I really don't know, This is another thing that happened in that period. Let's say, for example, you always been a cook. You've been a cook for 10, 20 years, whatever. And then COVID hit, and this is the first time that you try to do something else that is not cooking. And then guess what? Wow, I don't have to wash dishes. I don't stink when I get home. I can be home for dinner. All these things happen for first time that somebody that's been doing, that kind of job for many years. I don't blame them. So, some of them didn't come back. I'm sure they're doing well right now, and I congratulate them and everything. But I stay.
Sure.
So I just have to deal with whatever is going on now. So I don't.
It's a wild damn world out there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. So I guess to anybody, besides the labor standpoint, like we had talked before, as far as like, if you want to come in and open a restaurant, who's going to be the bartender, who's going to be back of the house, who's going to kind of be the line people, waiters, stuff like that. To anybody kind of maybe wanting to open up their own restaurant, whether it be, whatever type of food it may be. What are kind of maybe the first couple things, like I said, besides labor, that they should really consider heavily and kind of get hammered out before opening the doors?
Don't do it. No.
Just don't do it at all. Yeah, just go out to eat. Don't
No,
worry about
I'm
it.
joking. I always say that when somebody asks me that question, I always say just don't do it. No, but it just take a lot of sacrifice. You just want to make sure that that's what you want to do. It takes a lot of sacrifice, not just physically working wise, but the family too. Especially us. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I have to be at work. Yes, we have Sunday off, but guess what? Not everybody has the. I mean, I got few weekends off a year, and that's uncommon for, I guess, the rest of the people that don't work in the industry. So just to make it easier, let's say, for example, I cook and my wife work for me, and with me. But let's say that you're a cook and your wife work in a bank. So you coming home 11, maybe midnight or 10 o'clock at night, smelling like a deep fryer. And then, the family is being already home since 4 o'clock. So it is a sacrifice that comes with it.
Yeah.
So you just need to understand that is a sacrifice. And then from there, who's going to help you out? And you just go for it. If you really got the desire, go for it.
What goes into planning the menu? I mean, how did that kind of come about? Did you just kind of pick some of your favorite dishes, or maybe things that were more locally available, but still of quality?
Well, just to be honest, I'm not this cook that, I'm going to invent something today that nobody ever done before. And maybe some people are like that, some chefs are like that, but that's not the way, I create a dish. What I do when I create a dish, sometimes, I go back in my mind, places that I worked before. Sometimes I see a commercial and it just that inspired me to something, and then I put my own twist. I also go to Nashville, and it's something that we call stash. Means I go to another restaurant and I work. No pay. I just work to learn new techniques. And
You still do that?
yeah, yeah.
Where do you go?
I go. What I did last time. I did Flight.
Oh,
That
cool.
but Flight is been closed for a few years now. I did.
That wasn't open for too terribly long, was it?
No, they were,
Okay.
but they closed down probably 2-3 years ago.
Okay.
I did Edge.
It's a good spot too.
My last one that I work is the Optimist in Germantown.
Okay.
So it's
So what do you do when you go? Are you just kind of a
well, first you call the chef and you say, hey, you introduce yourself and tell that you're interested to stash, and if they say yes, you come in and whatever needs to be done. You won't be cooking that day.
Sure.
Usually they put you to do whatever nobody else want to do. It could be peeling potatoes. It could be chopping vegetables. I mean, whatever it is. But I think the most important thing that I learned in my early career is one chef told me, when you're prepping, you need to move your head up once in a while and see what's going on around you. That way you can lead, or you just need to see what is around you. So, when I'm in another restaurant and I'm prepping for somebody, I'm still looking around, and you learn, let's say that guy is cutting a potato a different way or doing a dressing that I never seen before. So I go over there and ask, man, what is in here? And I don't, that means I'm not going to come to my restaurant and copy everything.
Right.
But, it just give me a different perspective of how people are doing things in other restaurants. And then I put my own twist to it.
Yeah, well, I think all great things are stolen from everybody. I think that that's the way it's supposed to be done. I don't, all this stuff, this proprietary stuff, obviously some stuff has to be proprietary and you need to put your own twist on it, but you can't ever get any better unless you learn from other people.
Sure.
Every great artist is stolen from another artist in one way or the other, whether it be the way you draw a certain line or how you shade things or something like that. But it's, the overall picture is obviously your picture.
Sure. And then when you stash, you are working for somebody they're not paying you. So you're paying for that knowledge. That's the way I guess you get paid, just for knowledge. And let's say, sometimes you see a recipe that I really like. I just ask the chef, hey chef, can I copy this? This is amazing. And he can say yes or no. But when it go back to me, to the restaurant, I always tweak it in a way that is always a little bit different from the original dish.
Just a touch of Victor in there.
Yeah,
Yeah, cool. What about your specials? How do you, is that the same kind of way? You just maybe you do the stash or see it on commercials, or is that a seasonal thing, or?
In the summer, a little more seasonal. I mean, right now in Dickson, we have the farmers market. They do a great job.
There's about to be another big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna move that right down the street.
Yes, sir. So you can plan a little bit better because all the farmers, they come, Victor, what you need? Well, Victor, I have this and I got that, and you got a little more to play with. But we don't have that all year round. Now that it's cold outside, not everybody has, tomatoes and lettuces and things like that. But, the special, they just come out of whatever I don't know, whatever.
Right, yeah, right out of your brain.
Whatever feels good, and maybe sometimes it comes in a dream,
Sure. As most good things do.
It
right?
just happens.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So kind of given your obviously experience and being in the belly of the beast of the restaurant industry, what I know a lot of people are shouting, Italian restaurant or something like that. What do you think that would kind of help, maybe one or two restaurants or something that would help kind of complete, not necessarily complete, but keep molding this picture of Dickson? What would be a good thing to come kind of plant their roots and maybe start, here in Dickson?
Well, I'm glad you say Italian restaurant because a lot of people think that we're Italian. And I don't know if it's the last name, Lugo, Luigi. I'm not Luigi, I'm Lugo. So, so we're not Italian, and it's not an Italian restaurant. Yes, I have pastas and things like that, but when you think about American cuisine, it's just a melting pot of a little bit of everything. I would love to see a real Italian restaurant. Sure.
Like Coco's or something. Are you a fan of Coco's?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Always good.
Yeah.
And I heard the food trucks might be coming.
Yeah, they're pushing those things pretty hard right now.
Well,
they're on the chopping block for sure.
Yeah, I think if the Dickson if the city's gonna grow, you're gonna have to see all kinds of places to eat, including food trucks. I need some Asian food, man. Some Vietnamese,
cool,
or Thai.
Yeah, yeah.
Which we have plenty of Asian, and we got Japanese style cooking here in town. They're great, but I'm looking for maybe some Vietnamese.
Yeah. Have you been to the Korean barbecue place yet?
Not yet, because when they're open, I'm at
You're
work.
working. That's right. Yeah, I think they're only Thursday to Saturday now.
Thursday to Saturday, yes.
Okay.
But I heard good things about it. I love Korean food. But yeah, no, not yet.
That's a wild bunch. You ever met Starlight and David that own it?
No.
Oh man, I had them on the podcast. I guess they were before you. Wild people. I mean, they really love what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They've got really fresh and original ingredients from Korea, and apparently do it well. I haven't been there yet either, but I think they haven't been open too terribly long. So I'll definitely make the trip. I think I may try to this Thursday's Thanksgiving. Maybe sometime this weekend try to head down there. But cool. So do you? And I guess kind of with the way things are going now, you've never really. I know this kind of adds a whole different aspect to things, but now I know you have your paella dish that you do, right?
Yes, sir.
Right? But you haven't really taken on a full catering type thing yet. Are you just trying to keep it brick and mortar in the restaurant, or?
Yeah, we want to keep it there because I'm the one doing it.
Absolutely.
So if I'm not at the restaurant, then who's gonna cook? You know what I'm saying? And my guys, they help me and stuff, but I right now I have to be there. So I cannot be in two places at the same time, of course. So I like to do the paellas on days off, or you just need to call the restaurant and just let me know, hey, what about this day? Usually it's gonna be Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. If I wanna do in the future some catering, maybe when I retire.
Sure. Get somebody else in the restaurant helping you out there.
Yeah, Lugo's, it won't be open forever. It's gonna come a day that we have to say, hey, this is it. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna stop cooking. Maybe I can have a little more time to do what
maybe you can start a food truck.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So what is? Tell me what is that paella dish? How do you go about that?
Well, paella is a traditional dish from Spain, and it's just it's a rice dish. And I guess in different, I'm not an expert in paellas. I just know, a little bit about it. But in different parts of Spain, some of them, they just do only seafood, or some of them do only meats, and some of them mix seafood and meats. So what I do in here is, what I did is I order a little pan. My first pan, it was just for like 4 people. You can fit enough paella for 4 people. And then I bought another one that you can feed 15 people. And then I bought another one that you can feed 50 people.
Oh, my gosh.
So little by little, I've been practicing to do it. I don't cook my paella traditionally the way they do in Spain, because I'm not from Spain. I've never been there. But I put, like I say, my own twist. I use usually shrimp, sausage, and chicken breast. And we use saffron, and we use a short grain rice. Man, it's just a good time,
Is that a big wok that you've got, or is it?
Yeah, it's a big skillet, and it's a conversation. How you say?
Networking or
conversational
piece.
Yes.
Okay.
When I bring that thing out there, and I get that olive oil hot. And I just got everything ready for it. And I just bring the fresh garlic and the sausage, and then all the sizzling start going, and then you smelling the fresh garlic and the sausage, and everybody just now and getting their attention. And it's just cool. The glaze with a little bit of wine, putting the saffron, and it just when everything start bubbling real nice.
That smell just starts drifting throughout.
Yes, and you cover it up, and 20 minutes later, papa, you got paella.
Wow. So how long is it from start to finish really to take?
After I prep everything, the prep might take me probably a couple of hours, but after I prep everything, I can have a paella done in about 2 hours from beginning to end. Because after you finish cooking it, you gotta let it rest for at least 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
That's
dive in and get it. I'm gonna have to do that.
Yes.
I think we sold one of those at our Ducks banquet a couple years ago. I guess nobody's ever reached out for that. I guess that's kind of how it goes. You give away gift cards, people kind of just stick them. And
somebody
did they?
Somebody bought it, but they never called me.
They never bought it, but they never called you. Yeah. So if you're out there listening to this and you bought it, you're missing out.
I owe you a paella.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. We're about an hour in, man. That flew by, didn't it?
Yeah.
That's good. It wasn't that bad, was it?
No, man, this is great.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Do you have anything else you want to say to anybody?
No, just continue coming to Dickson this is a great place to live and great place to open any kind of business, I think the community is really into bringing new stuff. Mm-hmm. So, thank you for supporting Lugo. Thank you for supporting my family. And, I see you around.
Yeah. Victor's a great dude. Jennifer's a good dude. He's got a good family. He's got a fantastic restaurant. Like you said earlier, not just with Victor, but with everybody running a business right now, all these people need some support. Whether that be in person, or, if you see them on the street, and they also need patience too, just like you said, everybody is going to be shorthanded. Everybody's going to go up and down, hopefully things will kind of turn around here, in the future, but, keep your comments if they're negative, to yourself and off Facebook. And cause that's the last thing that a business owner needs is a rowdy, client that, gets on there and bashes somebody or something, and now the owner of the business has to deal with that too. There's PR issues and stuff, and so just keep everything as high vibe as you can and support these people. Dickson's a growing community, and it's not going to stop. I mean, it's growing at an exponential rate. I mean, hell, the state finally just repaved all our roads. That means we're back on, we're on the map. We've got good roads and a lot of development coming in town, a lot of apartment complexes that are lands getting rezoned too. So, the county's population is about to bust, and I think that there's going to be a lot of kind of outside people that move in with the same spirit that you've got to start something great and something unique. And I've got full faith in this county and in the surrounding to kind of support everybody. So cool. All right. Well, appreciate everybody listening. Thank you, Vic, for taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
Coming in. And you guys like, share, subscribe, comment, tell your friends, tell your family. Let's blow this thing up. And until next time, peace. Thanks again to the station for sponsoring this episode. If you are looking to book your next wedding or reception, baby shower or birthday party, conference or class, photo or video shoot, or even a live music performance, please reach out to Andy Truman at 336-693-4311 or shoot her an email at events@mulberrymilldixon.com. If you're interested in sponsoring an episode, please reach out to me directly via email at yourvibespodcast@gmail.com. Thanks again for listening, and always remember, stay vibey, my friends.